Howdy y'all, Fuzzy Biker here. We are at the Baxter Cycle Royal Enfield area. Check out all these hot rod bikes, but that's not what we're here to look at. We're here to look at this hot rod bike. Check that out. What is that? What might that be? Well, this is a very rare, one of 18 ever made, at least in the American market. They made a total of, if you count the European market, I think it was 230, let me look at my notes here, 232 of these total. It's called the new bullet, or the 350 unit bullet. You can see that it's a unit engine. The ones before this model had the separate transmission from the engine, but isn't that just a really neat thing? Looked at some pictures of the non-American models, the Euro models, and there is quite a bit of difference. The tank, the fenders, the front end, this is all different. And I think the wheels on the Euro models were 17s, where these are 18s. But so what is this? Well, it's a single cylinder, 300, and I think it was 48 cc's, 346 cc's, air-cooled, overhead valve, 4-speed. There's the gear indicator right there. Hot rod that was created to compete in that niche market. And just as they got this thing going, the beginner bike laws changed over in England, and 250 became the desirable bike. So this one really never saw much light of day. Other things about the engine real quick. This is the 250s had, I think it was eight fins. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This is an 11 fin head here. So then the 350s had an 11 fin head. That was another distinguishing feature difference. I think the 250s had something like a 67 millimeter stroke, where this had a 90 millimeter stroke. But isn't that just gorgeous? Look at those oil lines. Beautiful aluminum valve cover. Concentric looking carb. I don't know if that's a concentric or not. It says them all on it. I'm assuming it is. Just a gorgeous, gorgeous, you know, traditional looking, you know, the wing, the feather, whatever you want to call it. Absolutely beautiful bike. Anyway, just a gorgeous machine. You know, it doesn't look like a wet sump, but I think these early Enfields, I think they were a dry sump. I think the tank was actually in the case. Other things about this, if you look down here, the frame does not go below the engine. The frame ends here, and then picks up again here. So this is part of the frame, the stress member. I mean, kickstart only, of course. Choke was located here originally. There's the horn. Isn't that just pretty? One of the things when they compare this, I think the 250 was called a Marauder, is that this head looks much higher because of the extra fins. And that was one of the distinguishing features of this motorcycle, of the 350s, of the 350 engine. But isn't that gorgeous? Shifter right there. That's really neat too, isn't it? So this bike is supposed to be all original, or about as original as it gets. Like I said, it's one of 18 that were shipped to the States with the American styling. The American styling had a 3-gallon tank, different tank. Had this, what was it called here? Had this turbo twin front end, whatever that means. And apparently, for those of you that know what a turbo twin is, you'll recognize it, I'm sure. But different headlight housing, different forks in the front. It's supposed to have a Continental GT front mudguard or fender. And the this is supposed to be off of a, either an Intercept. Well, this is different also. So very interesting. Again, like I said, everything on this bike is supposed to be original, with the exception of the rubber on the tires. You know, so this rubber, these grips, these original, I think these are Amal type grips. You know, every cable, the seat. Look at the seat. Just a gorgeous thing, and it looks every bit of the 60 years old that it is. Just a gorgeous machine. I love, you know, look at this giant air box. I'm assuming that's what that is. The carburetor's right there. Just a beautiful, beautiful thing. Gorgeous. Look at that large drum brake. I get pretty emotional with these things. Sorry. But check this out. You know, here's the brake on this side. Check out that switch, you know, for your brake light. Isn't that something? By today's standard, that's such a large thing. You know, mechanical brake, of course, drum on the back, into the hub there. Adjuster right there. I just love these kind of things. And you know, why do I love these so much? I think when I was a kid, it was such a big deal to me, a little kid. adjusting the drum brakes. These snail type adjusters for the chain, check those out. The other thing we were looking at was the muffler and on the American model, and we couldn't find anything to read about it, but we think that's off of a different model. He was the owner of this bike was telling me what model it is. I don't remember what it was. Maybe I can ask him again. I'll put it in the words below. But isn't that just a gorgeous thing? Look at that hub. That's the Speedo drive right there. This is a chrome plate over the tank. Just a beautiful, beautiful thing. So this motor was supposed to put out about 22 horsepower, 7-to-1 compression, 7.5-to-1 compression. And here's the killer part. This was supposed to have a top speed of about 85 miles an hour, which is really something, isn't it? Gearbox, it says Albion gearbox. And the other thing they did with this over the 250 was the clutch had an extra plate. They added a, I think it was a 3-plate originally. They made this into a 4-plate. But like I said, they made in 1965. They made 18 of these for the United States market. These bikes were made, the 350s were conceived in about 1961. And I think they were made from 63 to 65, the 232 that were actually made, 63 to 65, and they made them in batches of, isn't that neat, of 50 at the Red Ditch factory. These are all built in the Red Ditch factory. So really quite a deal. I just love the way it looks. It was said that they were not quick, but they were great for touring. They were made more for the long ride, you know. And I can see that. You know, this was probably a pretty decent sized motorcycle at that time. The color for the American models was this, they called this Chinese red. And I was looking at this and I don't hardly want to touch it, but look at that. Just kind of wore in there, almost wore off. Absolutely gorgeous patina there, you know. And if you come back here, look at this. You know, this is all supposed to be original. Absolutely amazing. Look at that plate. Look at that whole view right through there. Isn't that just, oh, just something else to see. Ah, that's where the key goes. Okay, I'll bet you the battery's in there too. I think these are still a generator motor, but it would be inside. I don't know about that, but I think that's what I read. Isn't that just gorgeous? Where are the electronics? You know, I'm pretty sure this is a coil bike. Let's take a good look down here and see. Too dark for me to tell. Oh, okay, I bet you all the electronics are back here. Wire goes back. Yeah, or under the seat. Seat's bolted down, so we won't be getting that off, but isn't that just amazing? Just a thing of beauty all the way around. How fortunate we are to see it. You know, look at this. Just a gorgeous, gorgeous thing. Smith gauge. Oh, wow. That's just beautiful. 2,855 miles, 0.6. Speedo looks from 0, goes to 100. Where's the headlight switch? I think they must have the battery out of it. Oh, I'm just in love with it, guys. These little boots. I could not find a weight for it, so I don't know what it weighs. There's the clutch, still works. He actually rode this bike, by the way, a couple weeks ago. Picked it up, I think in Arizona or someplace like that. So this is an actual running model. Just a thing of absolute beauty. Just look at this. I just love that kind of thing. You know, there's that choke I was talking about. Just wow. Phenomenal. This is here at Baxter Cycle in Marnie, Iowa. Look at that bar. I wonder what that's all about. Grab bar? Maybe it's too far down. Anyway, if you're interested in something like this, not this one, this one's not for sale, but they've got a whole room full of antique motorcycles in the back. Or if you're interested in a new or used Royal Enfield, check these out. Classics, Interceptors, Scrams, Himalayans, Meteors, Continental GTs. And here's the killer part, the gear. I was online looking at gear one day, and it dawned on me that every bit of gear that the Royal Enfield website had was actually available here at Baxter Cycle. And more, you know, all the shirts and coats and things like that. Check out all these bags. Just a beautifully, those are all Interceptor parts and Continental GT. I think from here on, this is Himalayans. Just a wall full of, anyway, and there's just a neat shop. Check that out, my friends. Soak it in. Hey, back to the bike, right? All right, y'all. Hey, if it's nice where you all are at, get out there and ride, my friends. Life is good. Wahoo!